here we are with Steve Flink again of tennischannel.com. Steve, and two semifinals, two men's semifinals, long ones, a lot of fights. I mean, a lot of, I think, great match, especially the first one.
Oh yes.
Federer, 2 match points, and he lost again, like last year.
Like last year.
And but the only difference that this year he had 2 match points on his serve.
Exactly. A year ago, Djokovic was 4-5, and he was down match points on his own serve. Hit spectacular winners, one of them a swing volley and the other a forehand ground stroke winner. Today, he took that enormous swing with the return of serve on the first match point from Federer. Federer had swung him wide with that serve, and Djokovic just hit line winner cross court. That seemed to ignite him. It was amazing what it did for him. He raised his hands to the crowd to get appreciation, and he managed to take the next match point with a pretty good return. Federer made an error off his forehand, and the next thing you know, Federer ends up double faulting that service game away, and the whole thing slipped.
Have you ever seen, do you remember a match point played like that? I mean, a stroke like the one that Djokovic played today, I mean, in a match point?
Well, I bet we've seen it on occasion where it didn't make a difference, where somebody was down 40 love, they hit one, say one match point, they lost the match and nobody cared. But this led all the way back from 5-3 down, 4 straight games. He wins at 7-5 in the 5th. That's what made it so remarkable, that he turned the match around in that one moment with that spectacular return of serve.
Yeah, and in the last games, Federer made only 4 points.
Right.
4, I mean,
yes.
So he was dominated when he was close to win. I mean,
right.
He couldn't be closer.
Well, I think this one has to be even more bruising than the one from a year ago, because the fact is it was on his serve, and the fact is it's now an entire year without a Grand Slam title for Roger Federer. He was trying to make it 9 years in a row, and he didn't get there. I think that's going to really be very jarring for him, and it'll be hard for him to play the rest of the year, I think, thinking back on this match.
Also because he played a final in Roland Garros, but
yes.
But not others.
That's right. That's the only final. You know what? If you go back over the 3 last year, 7 altogether now since he won his last in Australia in 2010. One final is the one you mentioned, Roland Garros. Beat Djokovic, great win. But that's the only final of the 7 that he's played in that stretch. That I never would have believed it.
No, neither I. And now, what to expect from Federer? Will he be able to come back after this, as you say, bruising defeat?
I think it's going to be very difficult. I mean, you could never, he's so gifted, and he's 30, and he's in great condition. I thought there were times he did look a little weary today, but he ran well too. He defended well with his forehand side. He doesn't look like a typical 30-year-old, and he's an elegant player, one that knows how to conserve energy. I wouldn't count him out, but I think you can only take so many losses at the majors when you're accustomed to winning without it making a big difference. I think next year would be his last serious year to try to win these majors. He better get on the board then.
Sure. And Nadal beat Murray, and it wasn't a big surprise at the end. I was expecting Murray possibly to win, but honestly tonight Nadal was far more superior.
Oh, I couldn't have been more wrong. I thought yesterday that Murray might be on his way to winning the tournament. I thought that his hard-court game against Nadal might prove effective once again. He beat him here 3 years ago when Nadal was a bit tired after the long summer of winning the French and Wimbledon and Olympic Games. But he also beat him in Australia when Nadal was ailing a bit and retired in the middle of the 3rd set, down 2 sets. But today he was, as you said, he was clearly outplayed. He did a terrific job to come back and win the 3rd set. I'm still not quite sure how he managed to pull that off, but Nadal outplayed him thoroughly in the 4th. He deserves to be back in the final, Ubaldo.
Yes, and now a very quick prediction about the final. Who is going to win the final? While Martina Hingis was just passing in front. If you come over, we talk about you. Well, Martina Hingis was just crossing over.
No, I think, you know, it's hard not to pick Djokovic on the basis of 5 final round victories over Nadal this year, but the fact that he went so long in 5 sets today, I mean, maybe it is Nadal's best chance all year to avenge those losses, and I think that it'll be crucial for Nadal to get out in front early, to grab that first set and build on it, because Djokovic is inside his head. It's going to be a tough one for him to win, but I don't count him out.
You don't count him out? I think that this time Nadal could win, but since I've been very often wrong, I may be wrong once more. Bye-bye, and thanks to Steve Flink of tennischannel.com.